I will take go.
No, if you don't take it, if you're my brother, you don't take it, don't step home.
Yeah, and if they are money too, yeah, no tax. So
Yeah.
Charlie, so the 100 million that the guy is taking.
Yeah.
Any deal.
Yeah.
Hello friends, welcome to Delsoka. My name is Lali Frank, and in today's explainer, we are coming to do something different. We are coming to understand why Saudi Arabia are buying so many players. They are investing in the big names. The best person to do that is sports journalist, and he's a one-time guest on Max, so he's a familiar face on this platform. His name is Sitso. Sitso, welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
So this one is just a quick one, sharp, then we'll finish. So Saudi Arabia are investing hugely in big players, like basically the athletes that are in their gone past their prime, but top level athletes that you expect them to play in Europe.
Yeah.
First of all, naturally, it will be maybe a football decision, but you and I know that it's beyond football decision. What are they really doing?
Well, it's a lot of things, and because many people love football, the fact that they are now paying a lot of money for football stars is what's catching their attention. But I've got to go back a couple of years to also realize what they've done in other sports. We've had boxing bouts in Saudi Arabia over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You've had WWE in Saudi Arabia. Now there's the live golf that has created problems for the PGA Tour. And only a couple of days ago, the two of them merged. There's Formula One happening in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So Saudi Arabia is actually now catching the eye of many sporting franchises just to make sure that the entertainment aspect of the country is opening up. Because Saudi Arabia are trying to open themselves up to the world. And for a long time, when you thought of the Middle East, what you thought about was what the West had told the world through movies, through books, through propaganda. So when you thought of Middle East, the first thing that came to the minds of many people was that human rights, terrorism, many other things. And post 9/11 made it even worse. So not too many people would fancy going to Saudi Arabia or the Middle East to make it broad, to want to go and have anything to do with it. Now that they've had their money through their natural fossil fuel and gas from Qatar and other places, they are looking at how to erase those perceptions from people. Okay. The more reason why you hear the famous word now, sports washing. What is washing? You're washing the dirt of something, isn't it? Yeah. So they are using sports to actually wash off the perception that people have about them.
Okay, so then why football and why these athletes, like these specific athletes? What goes into it? Why are they using certain clubs? And is it individuals that are doing this, or is the state that? Because so initially they used to invest outside Europe. Why now inside Europe? Why inside their countries, and why are they picking certain athletes?
Right. So yeah. So as Raleigh said, they would formally go out of the country to start investment into other places. But now Saudi Arabia is looking at bringing people into Saudi Arabia. They are trying to move away from only the fossil fuel and make it a hub for tourism as well, as Qatar has done, as the UAE have done with Dubai. Yeah. So to get people to come to Saudi Arabia, one of the ways to do that is to use sports and to use football. And football has a massive following. People love football, and the people of Saudi Arabia themselves also love football. Yeah. So they are attracting some of the very big names that have got following into the place. Cristiano Ronaldo, once he's there, for many people, they are not even seeing the logo of the Saudi Arabian Pro League before. Yeah. But since Ronaldo got there, you have a fair idea of how the league even looks like. So they're going to bring in some of these stars so that the eyeballs can be there. They've got a vision for Vision 2030. They're hoping that by that time, they would be bidding for the World Cup and maybe hosting it. And if they're going to do that, they have to clean the public perception about the place with some of the most powerful tools, and football and sports is one of those.
And I think also one thing that I believe they are trying to do now is they easily look at Qatar and what Qatar was able to do with the World Cup. And it's like Qatar has provided most of the countries in the Gulf the blueprints and how to change people's perception. Because one, they have the money already. Yeah. They have enough resources at their disposal, and they try to diversify their resources by investing outside Europe. But I've always looked at the Russians, for instance, hosted the World Cup, tried to invest outside Europe. Shaka, for instance, and look at the kind of investment they've used their resources to do outside Europe. Immediately, the war between Russia and Ukraine emerged. They started losing their resources, like their investments outside their country and investments in Europe. So I think Qatar also looks at that and says, okay, maybe we are investing in Saudi looked at that and said,
Yeah.
maybe you're investing in Newcastle, we are investing outside our country. There's a point where these Europeans would one day wake up and say, yes, enough, move away, and you may lose that. So, what's the best way? Trying to also invest in what you're also
Yeah.
doing and build it to that level. And one time before at the World Cup, I spoke with one of the Arabs. He is from one other country, and he said that among themselves, they know that Saudi looks like the most powerful because of the population they have,
Yeah.
the population, the resources they have. But they've sat down for Qatar and these little like UAE, as you mentioned, have changed a bit of the perception. Because if I wake up in the morning, I would want to go to Dubai instead of Saudi Arabia. And I think maybe that's what they're also trying to do, and perhaps football will do that. Do you think that is sustainable?
Well, that is one question that nobody really can put a definite answer to it. But the thing is that the PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund, which is backing, which actually bought Newcastle from Mike Ashley, and now also acquiring lots of these players coming through the club. The fund is worth over $200 billion. I mean, that is a bottomless pit
Yeah,
of
that's like
wealth.
some wealth.
So I think it's very sustainable because they're not going to run out of money anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think what could happen then is if Saudi Arabia do achieve what they want by cleaning the global perception, by making people know who they are, and turning the place out to be the tourist side that they want people to see it to be, they will decide that it's enough. We are stopping this. And so it wouldn't be as a matter of there's no money to continue doing what they are doing.
Be
It
a
will be
matter
a
of they
mission
not
accomplished.
okay.
We want to change the way we are bringing people to Qatar now, not through necessarily sports, but through other things. UAE don't need to do anything for people to go to Dubai now.
No, I don't think so.
Post the World Cup, I'm not sure. I want to go back to Qatar
Yeah.
after the experience I had. Qatar don't need to do anything else for me to go back there.
We are not
Saudi now,
we are all brand ambassadors of Qatar now.
absolutely, because they put up an amazing show and we love the place.
Yeah, it's true.
Saudi now need to get that thing into the heads of people. So when they've achieved that, maybe they would say, enough, we won't buy place at this level again. We'll shift that money to something else. But I don't think they'll really run out of money, and it's sustainable for the wealth that they hold.
Okay, so now yes, I agree they are trying to change perception, but what does it also do to the league itself? Because at the end of the day, it's the league that they are doing. Talking football itself, will these things have any impact on the football that they are playing there?
Yeah, it will. And once this started happening, I quickly had to then go on and look at, because I thought if this was happening in Qatar, I wouldn't see how that is sustainable because Qatar is not necessarily a football hub.
Yeah, it's true.
Saudi Arabia is a crazy football hub.
Yeah.
They've got some great rivalries. Al Nassr, Al Hilal is huge. They're all in the same cities. It's a rivalry. So what the PIF also did was that they were taking over 4 clubs who were traditional clubs with mass following: Al Ali, Al Ittihad, Al Nassr, and Al Hilal.
Yeah.
These 4 of them are going to be handled by the PIF. They are going to be buying the players from the West, and they are going to be posting them to these clubs so that they can create a rivalry. The more reason why we didn't hear any other club in Saudi
Messi.
interested in Messi was because they wanted Al Hilal to get Messi so that Al Hilal, who is the rival of Al Nassr, can recreate the Barcelona Real Madrid rivalry. And the fan base in Saudi is huge. And we
Yeah.
saw it at the World Cup. The
Yeah,
number of them
those
who
guys
drove
are-
into Qatar to come and back the national side is huge.
And
So I
when
think
they won a single game,
a single game, the whole world, they
yeah.
made the whole world know that yes, they are
Yeah,
there. They are also there. So I think it is good for the league because what happens then is if Messi or Ronaldo or Benzema is coming to your league, there is that one player who played in the Messi or Benzema role in the team that Messi is coming or Benzema is coming into, that may become available to the next team. That is not getting the Benzema. That is extra quality going down the levels. So I think there's a buffer. The other problem then will be how do Saudi develop their own talents?
Yeah.
Because Ronaldo is Portuguese, he will not all of a sudden become a Saudi.
Yeah.
So are they blocking the spaces for Saudi talents to rise to the very top? I think that is something they need to sort out. But globally, it's going to take eyeballs to Saudi.
Let's wrap up with the athletes that are going there because there's a perception that sick of money they go they go take the money. Like, does it have any like the athletes? Are they moving because of the money? Are they moving because of a project that Saudi have sold to them, or they also want to try and experience it? Because it's easy for you to assume that Charlie, $100 million a year, Charlie, that's like some hell of a money. is it really about the money? Or like, what does it make? What does it mean to these players that are also moving there?
I struggle to see any other reason beyond the money. Listen, most of these players are accomplished footballers. They've got nothing else to prove in football. So if the ability and natural ability of something they've done throughout their whole life is going to give them a paycheck like that, and it's not new. It really is not. We've seen China do it. We've seen USA become a hub for retiring players. We saw Thierry Henry move there, Ibrahimovic, Frank Lampard,
Lampard, yeah.
Beckham. All of them
Yeah.
moved there, and at the time nobody was complaining
And I think
about
Messi is now also.
Messi is now going to go there. So it is there. But the point is, how much money now? Because if they were going to go to USA to make 50 million a year, now they're going to make over 100 million, 200 million. So yeah, I think the money motivates them because Benzema is the Ballon d'Or winner. He's won Champions Leagues. He's not going to win the World Cup. His chapter with France is done. Ronaldo has won everything that he can win possibly with his country and his club side. So what is the motivation rather than the paycheck, which is astronomical and very tempting?
Do you see other players also moving there?
It depends on at what level, at what point in their careers they are. Because I still think that a lot of the young talented footballers still hope to win the Champions League, play for some of the most historic clubs in the world: Barca, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Juventus. AC Milan. Some players dream of doing that. I don't think they're going to be buying Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, Moise Caicedo, Marcus Rashford anytime soon. I think it's going to be the likes of Luka Modric, maybe Gundogan, players who are quality, still have got something in them, but they are just fading out of the elite level. They are going to attract a lot of them. I don't think they are going to see, the likes of Vinicius or Rashford or Erling Haaland moving to the Saudi anytime soon. No.
Personally, I think it's not really a bad thing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's my money and
yeah, it's their money, and they have an agenda for it. They want to host the World Cup by 2030 or 2034. So one thing Qatar struggled with was that people didn't know Qatar, so there were a lot of backlash. By the time Saudi Arabia are bidding for the World Cup, the whole world would have heard of them. And let's not forget they're going to be hosting the first edition of the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So, and they're hosting the Asian Women's Cup as well. So, Qatar very much is Saudi, I should say, is very much opening up to the world. And I won't be surprised if they don't in the next 10 years. I'll be surprised if in the next 10 years they are not hosting the World Cup.
They would. I just have a strong feeling.
You want to go back to the Middle East?
I love it. I love the kind of World Cup they gave us. It was fun, like it was. I think, and for them, they would give us experience. That's
They've got money, so we'll
as a football fan, whenever the World Cup goes, we'll go.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely, we will go.
So I think let me know what you also think in the comments. Do you think those guys have too much money? Which player do you think is going? Do you lose respect for your athletes because the player is going to chase money? But Charlie, me, if you carry $100 million or pounds, they make a tea. I will take it.
No, if you don't take it, if you're my brother, you don't take it, don't step home.
Yeah, and if they are money too, no tax.
Yeah.
Charlie, so the $100 million that the guy is taking.
Yeah.
Me, you know any deal.
Yeah.
Charlie, you are in the wrong profession.
Perhaps.
So guys, thank you, Sitso.
Yeah, cheers. Anytime.
So, let me know what you think. But until we meet again, don't forget to subscribe. Let's build this community together as friends. But bye-bye for now.